it for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur. Oh!
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens. Le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup!
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Tibi. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro on this Thursday, September 4th. It is the Sick Podcast, and I want to let you all know that tomorrow night is a very, very big night for the Lac St. Louis Lions, the family, the organization, the club, the fans, the friends, and, of course, some alumni. Join the Lac St. Louis Lions on Friday, September 5th, for an unforgettable celebration of 50 years of M18 AAA Lac St. Louis Lions hockey. They'll have outdoor activities, mouth-watering food trucks, and the chance to meet legendary Lions alumni playing in the National Hockey League. And you know a few of those. One of them plays for the Montreal Canadiens, and one of them used to. A couple of gars de chez nous in all of that. A special ceremony will honor alumni by retiring their jerseys, followed by the M18 AAA Lions grand home opener against the Blizzard du Séminaire Saint-François. It'll be a day full of surprises, fun activities, and Lions pride. Bring the whole family and create unforgettable memories. Congratulations to the Lac St. Louis Lions. Nicolas Cloutier of TVS Sports is going to join me in just about a minute or two. He had a great story several days ago on Joshua Roy going into this camp, treating it as the most important camp of his life. The title on TVA Sport was Joshua Roy méconnaissable. Le plus en forme de toute ma vie, says Joshua Roy. Joshua Roy, unrecognizable in the best shape of his life. Isn't that good news? And this coming from TVA Sports and Nicolas Cloutier of TVA Sports and his Twitter account. We have some footage of Joshua Roy in the gym. Do we have it?
This is record, so it might not go up. I don't know. I don't want to catch him failing, but we're going for 3 reps. Your record, so focus on. Right away it goes up. Right away up. Oh yeah. Easy. Load up. Good. 3 more reps to 5. 2 more. Up. 1 more, Josh. Finish it. Yeah, record. That's good. Really good. Hey, started come out there Sunday.
All right, and I know that who that is, who's coaching him and cheering him on. That's Jonathan Chaimberg of APC, the Adrenaline Performance Center. Without further ado, I bring in Nicolas Cloutier. Nick, how are you?
I'm good, Tony. So you know about Chaimberg, right?
Yes, I know about Jonathan Chaimberg. Yeah. I brought my sons there in the past, long time ago. I actually started off my son really, really early. Maybe I started him off too early, by the way. But obviously, Jonathan is very, very good at what he does. And, you know, for a very long time, George St. Pierre has trained at APC. I know that Chris Letang has as well. And I know that because John actually once told me that of all the athletes that have come into his place, that the 2 hardest working are George St. Pierre and Chris Letang. And I saw a video of you yesterday. Were you training with Chris Letang?
I went through the old Chaimberg experience, Tony, and let me tell you what, I was told that Chaimberg puts these guys through hell, and he really does. He really does. You know what? I consider myself pretty fit. I train like 4 or 5 times a week. I lift heavy weights, but nothing could have prepared me for that. So Chaimberg actually told me yesterday, Tony, he texted me, you know what? out of all the people I bring in the gym to do this kind of to do the experiment, you're the guy that did the best, and I puked. So that gives you an idea.
Wow, there we go. Isn't that something? All right, okay. So, talk to me about Joshua Roy. Talk to me about the transformation. I'm not going to lie to you. I've always liked Joshua Roy.
Okay.
The player, for his strengths, which is, I think he's got good hockey sense. I think he's got good hands. And I think he could be an offensive player. We saw that obviously in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League where he put up a ton of points. We saw at the World Juniors that he can actually take himself out of his comfort zone and actually play defensive hockey as well. If memory serves me well, they used them on the penalty kill. And but here's where I'm not convinced, and I'm not a fan, and not just yet. And I'm so happy to see these images. Because until you showed me these images, I would have told you that I'm not so sure that he was doing absolutely everything from a work ethic on and off the ice to get to the next level. Now, he lost 15 pounds, I think.
15 pounds. And like it's one thing to lose 15 pounds, but to do that while gaining muscle mass is a whole nother thing. Like, because you can't just like stop eating and not put the work in the gym. You'll lose weight, okay? But you, as an athlete, you have to maintain your muscle mass while you do it. Or even better, you can gain muscle mass while shedding weight, which is even harder. And that's exactly what Josh did this summer.
It's amazing to see. But then again, I want to say something, right? So
no, do it.
I don't know how hard he works or doesn't work. I think he took the camp last year for granted because I think he could have done a lot better than that. The fact that he's lost 15 pounds and he's put on the muscle mass leads me to believe that maybe he did drop the ball in the previous years from a conditioning standpoint and from being at the best shape of his life type of thing, right?
So, okay. Can I address that?
Of course.
Okay. I've talked about it off the record with Josh. So, and I've talked about it with his trainer as well. So what I came to understand is that last summer, it's not that Josh did not train regularly or even seriously. It's that sometimes you go in the gym with a routine and you kind of go through the motions and you hit a plateau. And I don't know if Josh was followed as closely as he was this summer. Maybe maybe he was doing his thing. But he didn't have that chamber behind him, and he was not training alongside a machine like Letang. So that was different this summer. But I don't think it was a function of Roy not showing up to the gym. I think because you know what, I went through the same thing, Tony. When you train regularly, it's easy at some point. You go through your routine, you go through the motion, and you do the same little exercise, and you stop challenging yourself and you hit a plateau. But what Roy did this summer is a whole other thing, and that's pushing himself like he has never done before. I don't even think Josh knew he'd had it in him before going through the chamber experience. So another very interesting thing, Tony, is that Jonathan Chamberlain, when Roy first came to him, he wasn't sure he was going to let him in his gym. That was kind of a trial. So he said, I heard the rumors. I heard he's not that in shape. So I'm not going to have like Roy in the gym, like slow down the machines I have, the beast I have in Letang. So that would be very counterproductive to me, to my approach, and to my clients as well.
Wow.
So he gave him sort of a trial. And let me tell you what, Chamberlain was floored because he was like, I have never seen, like, not never, but I have rarely seen such work ethic. He just put his hard hat on and he never said a thing. So this backward hat was glued to his head and he didn't mutter anything. He just went to work, Tony.
And I know the way Jonathan works too, besides everything you said, which is absolutely accurate, is that if Joshua Roy wasn't willing to put in the work, and wasn't going to get great results in the offseason, And then word goes around that he trained at APC, but the guy's not in very good shape. That's not very good advertising for Jonathan Chamberg, and he doesn't want that.
Jonathan Chamberg also puts his credibility on the line, taking Joshua Roy in his gym. You're correct, Tony, mentioning that.
All right. Okay. So now let's just say, okay, he's going to be in the best shape of his life. Fantastic. Let's just say he goes to camp. He has a good camp. Who are we talking about here that he has to beat out? That's realistic.
Okay.
That contracts could be moved or they could go down. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I'm not even sure there's a spot among like the top 12, but if we're talking about, let's say, the last spot, the 13th forward, there's going to be a race between Owen Beck, Florian Jacquet, Samuel Blais, and the other one, oh Jesus, I had him on the top of my
Davidson?
Head. Exactly. Davidson would be one. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Kapanen was the one I'm forgetting.
Okay.
So these guys. Davidson is more like an honorable mention.
Pardon me, repeat the names. Davidson?
Kapanen. No, Davidson is honorable mention with Sean Farrell for me. So
Okay.
it's not in the top group. Like,
Okay.
So these guys are the ones I consider the most for 13 forward. So it goes Florian Jacquet, Owen Beck, Samuel Blais, Oliver Kapanen, Joshua Roy. So you have 5 guys fighting for one spot.
So you got Veleno in the top 12.
Yeah, I do.
And so do I
do.
by the way.
He's a center.
And so do I, and I have him beating out Oliver Kapanen because of those 308 games, I think, of NHL experience that he has. I think can serve the team well. And you know what? I think so far he's done some pretty good work based on what I've seen in what was the 3v3 league and in Brassard. And he's really, I'm going to say this, okay? For me, it doesn't even matter if how good their camps are going to be. All of those players but one, I'm already eliminating them. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? I don't want a Kapanen or a Joshua Roy or a Beck. Players who are 23 years of age and under, who still have a pretty big ceiling, being the 13th man. Because let's not forget, Pizzetta was the 13th man last year. He didn't play a lot. With all due respect to Samuel Blais, who's 29 years old, his ceiling has already been hit. I think Blais would be the ideal 13th centerman. I want those young guys to stay in Laval, and I want them to play.
You're right. But so in theory, right? But we've seen crazier things happen at training camp. The thing with Joshua Roy, he has an NHL shot. He has NHL hands. He has an NHL hockey IQ.
Yeah.
The one thing that separated him from the NHL is space. It's his skating. And why was that?
And consistency.
Why was that? I even asked Chris about that. Why was that? It was a bit about his posture. He could not keep a dynamic posture on the ice to really explode. And why, Tony? Jonathan Chamberg told me when Josh came in the gym, he was weaker than the other average NHLers at pulling movements. So movements that involve the core muscles and the back muscles. When Roy came in the gym, he could barely do 3 bodyweight chin-ups. Now he does multiple chin-ups with 35 pounds around his waist.
So did that mean a weak core? Is that what we're talking about? He had to reinforce his core?
He had a weaker core than the average NHLer, and he had a weaker back than the average NHLer. As far as pushing with his shoulders, with his chest, he was pretty strong. Those are pushing movements. But pulling movements that involve the core, that involve the back, it was weaker than average. Now, like I said, barely could do bodyweight chin-ups, but now he does these chin-ups with 35 pounds added around his waist. So that's a remarkable improvement. Chamberg told me, and Chamberg got a lot of athletes in his gym. Chamberg told me, best improvement I've ever seen truly in one summer. So with these added improvements, with this added muscle mass, this added stability around the core, Joshua Roy is going to be more dynamic in his posture, but also he lost 15 pounds. So his feet are going to be lighter. Like, this is not just some things that he can brag about because I can bench 200 pounds or blah blah blah. Those are actual things he brings onto the ice, Tony. Those are functional improvements.
The Sick Podcast is brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group, a leading full-service logistics provider serving all of North America, driven to be different. Also, I want to talk to you about Playground. You haven't really played poker until you played at Playground, voted Fan Choice Best Poker Room at the 2025 Global Poker Awards. Enjoy free drinks at every table, free food at all cash games, and daily tournaments, plus the biggest events in the game like the World Poker Tour and the World Series of Poker Circuit. Don't miss your shot at the world record Bad Beat jackpot, now closing in at $1 million. Spins for downtown Montreal. Across the Mercier Bridge, it's Playground. And Bittt Tibi, they launched their new Ultra Lager. It's a refreshing thirst-quenching beer, perfect for the fall with only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can, available in a pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. It's ultra light, ultra refreshing. So I said to you, okay, let's just say Joshua Roy is in the best shape of his life, comes in, has a great camp.
Yeah.
Who does he beat out? You said in the top 12, I don't think anybody, but as 13, he's in the conversation. I said perfect. I said, who's in the conversation? You said Joshua Roy, Oliver Kapanen, Florian Jacki, Owen Beck. And I said to you, I said, well, and Samuel Blais. And I said to you, well, all those guys with the exception of Blais, I don't want them as my 13th forward because I want them to play in Laval. I want them to get ice time, and I want them to further develop. Blais, the oldest one of the bunch. He's 29 years old. He's perfect to be the number 13. And by the way, when the Canadiens went out and they made that acquisition and they signed Samuel Blais, I think they knew exactly what they were doing, and I think they identified him as the 13th guy. Okay.
Yep.
So now, if he's not going to be 13, and you look into your crystal ball, and I understand that injuries are a part of the game, and the Canadiens may suffer injuries, and they may need to recall from Laval, and then maybe he comes up, and that's how he gets his opportunity, and it's up to him to run with it. Let's just say, hypothetically, the Canadiens are incredibly healthy. How does Joshua Roy even crack this team next year?
Well, that's up to him. If he has the best camp of his life and he's just flying on the ice, they make a spot for him. That's happened before, Tony.
It's happened before.
Yeah, a player forcing a trade. That's what he has to do, point blank.
It could happen, let's just say, if Doc's gone next year, he's in the final year of his contract, right? Doc's
he's in the
gone
final year right now.
And then correct. Yeah. So the final year of his contract this year. So let's just say, unfortunately, it's not conclusive. Kirby Doc moves on. Then there's an opportunity. Then you can have Newhook at center. But are the Canadiens going to go into the year after with Alex Newhook as their second line centerman, or Joe Veleno or Jake Evans? I would doubt that. So it's going to be tough because, you know, the problem for Joshua Roy, it's funny because you want to have young players on your team so that young players can have that opportunity. There's so many of them right now, and they're top flight young NHL players, right? Yeah. And obviously I'm talking about Slavkovsky, and I'm talking about Caulfield, and I'm talking about Suzuki, and I'm talking about Demidov. And there's, you know, just four of them right there.
It's crowded.
It's hard. And then you got Brendan Gallagher and Josh Anderson, who have 2 years left on their contracts, and those would be pretty hard to move, you would think. And then you got Jake Evans, who signed, you know, a 4-year contract extension, and he's going to have a role to play. And Newhook will have after this year, he'll have another year left on his contract. It's tough. Mind you, you know what? I just thought about something.
Okay.
If Patrick Laine doesn't work out, there's an opportunity there for Joshua Roy next season. So let's just say Joshua Roy has an amazing season, bulks up, gets stronger. It's a stretch now, by the way. I get it, okay? Tony, it's a stretch.
Tony, things change so quick in the hockey world. And I don't wish that for Laine either. I'm just saying, like, we think things are set in stone in hockey, but in hockey, like in the regular season, so many things can happen in just a week. Like things happened last season you wouldn't have never expected at the beginning of the season. Like when the Habs were like 31st in the league and they ended up making the playoffs. I mean, a lot of things can happen. Players can have slumps. Players can get injured. So nothing is in stone. So I would not say right away there are not going to be opportunities for Joshua Roy. We don't know. We don't know what might happen. But to your point, I will say that's why I would not use all of the 10 picks you have in 2026 because it's already too crowded, and you're going to be stuck with making decisions that could bite you in the ass later on, you know? Like you're gonna have no choice to trade a prospect that can blossom anywhere.
You know what? On that note, there's something that we haven't talked about, but I think you just set the table, so we're going to go there in a minute. Not before I talk to you about Fruiterie de l'Art, a family-run business, a mainstay in the LaSalle community since 1995. Proud to continue offering the same fresh foods and flavors they have for the past 30 years. From fresh fruits and produce delivered daily to an ever-expanding assortment of deli meats, cheeses, and sandwiches, you'll find personalized service, friendly faces that make you feel like family at Fruiterie de l'Art. Also, if you want to get on the action, and tonight, of course, was opening night in the NFL, and I know that a lot of football fans like to get in on the action. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Well, it's something that you can put $1 or $2 on. Go all the way with Betway. Get a free bet up to $200 for first bet loses. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account. Redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. Offers not available in Ontario. Must be 18 years of age and older. And please play responsibly. Okay. You know, the one thing that can happen is everyone wants it to work out for Montreal Canadiens prospects and then to have an opportunity here. But if it doesn't work out, the next thing you want for them is for them to have an opportunity elsewhere in the National Hockey League. If there's no room for Joshua Roy, but he gets off to a great start for Laval, if the Canadiens are going to want to make a move and at one point they're going to have to throw in a prospect, he still has the right age and the right ceiling to attract a lot of teams.
Yeah, but if you wanted to extract the most value out of him, you would have to call him up at some point and give him some NHL games. Because teams are going to ask Kent Hughes to see him at the highest level.
You're right about that.
They're gonna want a sample size that is more significant. So that's how I would operate and how I would think if I was another NHL team scouting Joshua Roy. I would want to see more of them at the NHL level. So if they do want to use him as a straight chip because, well, they like the player, they like the scam, but they don't know where he fits in the lineup in the future, that's something certainly they could try to do. Just give him a stint at the NHL level somewhere during the season.
Talk to me about some of those names you brought up. And Pascal Vincent told Pierre Maguire and Jimmy Murphy of the Sick Podcast, the Eye Test, a couple of weeks ago, that when he saw Florian Jacki, he said, you know what? This guy reminds me of Adam Lowry. That's one very effective hockey player. I mean, every team would take Adam Lowry, or a lot of teams would take Adam Lowry to be their third line centerman, maybe even second line centerman. Of course, Adam Lowry of the Winnipeg Jets. You mentioned some names and you mentioned Jacki. Don't you think it's a little bit premature?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was it premature when Jacki made the team right out of the camp? I mean, Arbor.
No.
Who bet on him at this point?
Bergevin.
Right? Yeah. And the Jacki gene, man. The Jacki gene, you cannot underestimate it, Tony, because you know what people said when he got drafted in the 4th round because he was not on any list in Florian Jacki, that is. It was like, why are we drafting this overager that barely had any points in the OHL, right?
Because of character. Character doesn't dictate points.
Yes, you're perfectly right. But not only this. So I talked to people around this time in the OHL, and they were like, Nick, you don't understand. Watch the player. He's got really deceptive skill. He's got skill, man, Tony. He's got underrated hands and an underrated shot.
It's true.
He keeps surprising you with his skills. Hey, this guy scored 20 goals in the AHL as a rookie. The Canadiens, they didn't even know if they would have room for him at the AHL level at the beginning of the season. And he goes on the 4th line and he scores 20 goals. And not only that, he scores 20 goals while racking up like 170 penalty minutes. Where do you find this profile? Not even in the AHL, but just in the old North American professional league circuit. Like even in NHL, you don't find a profile like that. Guys with hands like that, a guy with a shot like that can do both. Like the only thing now is he's a bit lanky, he can fill out a bit, but man, like this is a guy I would not want to bet on. Like I do not want to bet on Florian Jacki. You would have to twist my hand for me to do it. And I'm not going to be the one to do it. So it's not premature at all if you think like Florian Jacki might come out of the gates and earn a spot just this year at the training camp. I see it. This is very plausible, Tony.
Amazing stuff. All right. Okay. So you and I, the last time we were on, we talked about Carey Price's contract. Now, there's something that came that we're going to touch on because once again, Eric Engels caught up with Kent Hughes at the general manager meetings in Detroit, which took place over a couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and there was a clip that came out of it regarding Carey Price. Do we have it? I wouldn't ever just expect anything to happen because things don't always happen when you want them to. But we'll continue to explore ways to create cap flexibility. We're fine. We don't have to trade Carey Price, he added. If we can find a trade to move his contract that makes sense for us and makes sense for another team, we'll pursue it. But we don't have to. That's Kent Hughes once again, who's saying, hey, you know what? I'm not desperate. So
I love it.
If you need the contract, you call me. I won't be making the calls.
I love the mindset, by the way, because that's what he has to say. What do you want him to say? Hey, I'm desperate. I need to trade this contract. Take advantage of me. Like he's not going to do that. He's Kent Hughes. He understands perfectly how leverage works. He's a former agent. Now, on your previous show, maybe I got caught up on semantics. So he's right that he doesn't have to do it to be cap compliant. Okay, he can't put price on LTIR. But if he does that, it's just that he's going to start the year and he's going to be dollar in, dollar out. Okay, he's not going to have flexibility. But he can. He's going to be cap compliant. I think he could do. Okay, so he could still add like 4.6 million to the cap. He could bring in a forward, and that would actually maximize the LTIR relief if he does that. And you might as well use it, because if you don't, you need when you set the LTIR pool at the beginning of the season, it's set. So you want to set the LTIR pool to the max. So you can go all the way, since Price has a 10.5 million cap hit, you could go all the way to an upper limit of 106 if you add this 4.6 million forward, and if you can choose. So that would be certainly an idea. But if you do that, you're still dollar in, dollar out. Like the NHL doesn't give you extra cap space. They just bring your upper limit so that you're cap compliant. So you're still dollar in, dollar out. But I mean, if you don't think you can trade Carey Price, might as well do it if you're not going to stretch the LTIR to the max. So that's a thing to consider. They could add a 4.6 million forward. If they don't trade Carey Price, I would still rather trade Carey Price, because then you're 5 million under the cap and you can accrue cap space. That would be really the best option.
He's, you know what? He's very smart. He's not a lawyer by accident. So when you said good for him, he's not showing that he's desperate. I'll add that Jeff Gordon's a very smart guy too. I mean, I'll take you back to the Demidov. I'll take you back to the Demidov draft, right? They knew all along they wanted to draft Demidov. Do you know when they knew they wanted to draft Demidov? Before the season started, they knew that at the draft they wanted to be in a position to draft Demidov. Okay. They loved
when they passed on Mishkov, they knew about Demidov, by the way.
You're absolutely correct about that. Okay. And you know what? They were told, you know what? Mishkov, he's good, but the shortcomings probably won't please you. And in the end, if you're looking for an offensive player, Demidov is superior for certain reasons that they were given. Mind you, we have to admit, I mean, Mishkov had quite the rookie season. All right.
Yeah, but in the Habs' mind, I don't think they were ever close.
With
Mishkov and Demidov.
No, it's Demidov for them for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't close for them. Yeah.
No, and you're right about that. So the reason why I bring it up is because during that draft, right, when I met with Demidov, and he confided to me that he was going to be meeting with the Canadiens. It was on a Wednesday that I met with him in Vegas. Okay. And of course there was a scrum, and he confided to me that he was going to be meeting with the Canadiens on the Thursday, the day after. That day after, the Thursday, Jeff Gordon was made available to the media, and he was made available to the media for a reason. And the reason was misdirection. Like, he has experience and he says less than Kent, or the way he says it, he tries to bluff you. And they were playing poker in Vegas, and he said, yeah. And I asked him, I said, Demidov told me that you're going to meet with him. He goes, yeah. And I met with him. Nice kid. His English is pretty good, whatever. It's pretty impressive, but not more than that. I had a bunch of buddies of mine that were texting me saying, oh, no, it's too bad. Jeff Gordon doesn't like him. The Canadiens don't like him. They're not going to take him. I said, guys, please stop. I go, we're in Vegas here. Jeff Gordon is playing poker.
So you're right.
He was brought out for a reason.
And at the other end of the spectrum, remember when just before the draft, Kent Hughes was raving about Ryan Leonard. And just
It's
before
true.
the draft, at
It's
some
true.
point, Trevor Timmons was raving about Philip Zadina, and the reporter didn't even ask a question about Philip Zadina. Himself, he mentioned Philip Zadina. These guys know what they're doing, okay? This is all smoke show.
Misdirection.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, actually. You know what? I had forgot about Ryan Leonard, but you're right.
Yeah.
Ryan Leonard was in on that one. You're absolutely right.
And they knew they were picking linebackers, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's the one thing that you're going to be paying special attention to over the next? There's prospects games coming up, in Montreal next week. Game versus Winnipeg, game versus Toronto. Should be fun.
I'm curious about linebacker, really, because you saw the report from the Journal.
Yes.
So I was very worried, but when at the end of Laval's season, he said there was still swelling in his knee.
Yeah.
So I was quite alarmed, to be honest, because he's a player. When he's healthy, he's a player. He's a player to me, no debate. And I've said on your show I would still pick him before Mishkov. But you're worried because, if at this age he has so much problem with his knee and it's recurrent and it's chronic and there's still swelling after the playoffs in Laval, well, you kind of get a bit worried. But what he told my esteemed colleague, Jean Tabernier, is that his knee held up all off season long and didn't bother him at all. He's 100% ready to go. So, David Reinbacher, he has the talent. He has what it takes. He knows how to play a smart, simple game. So he's an NHLer right away. Now, the thing is, do the Canadiens want to develop him or they want to bring him right away? Do they think, maybe he has some offensive game to develop in Laval before we bring him onto the show? It's not a question of if he can play in the NHL, because I think he can play in the NHL right away. It's what they want to do with him. Maybe they're more patient, but if they do need him to play in the NHL this year, he's going to be able to do it.
Nick, amazing stuff as always. I can't. It's around the corner, right? The Montreal Canadiens golf tournament is on Monday, September 15th. Yeah. So we are 10, 11 days away. It's going to be pretty cool.
Are you going to be swinging there? Yeah.
I'm not going to be playing golf. That I'll tell you. I was invited at one point. I don't think Mr. Boivin at the time was overly impressed with me taking out my putter on a par 3 165 to drive. But I did get it on the green. I have to say it was pretty.
You did with a putter 165.
I have the. You know what? I don't know how to play golf, but I could drive putt about 150 yards. I would say.
No,
yeah.
So that was a driving stroke, not like a long putter stroke.
It was a driving stroke, yes. And I've broken my share of putters, actually thinking that it was funny. Using a putter to drive, and it cost me a heck of a lot of money. I don't golf anymore, by the way. So it's But you know what? I
wish we had tape.
I think I'm going to be at the golf. Will you be at the golf tournament?
I think I'll be at the office because my good buddy Anthony will be at the golf tournament.
At the golf tournament. All right. Anyway, between now and then, I'm sure I'm going to be able to talk to you again, as I hope to have you regularly on the Sick Podcast this year. Nicolas Cloutier of TVA Sport. Merci beaucoup, mon ami.
Anytime, my friend.
All right, there you have it. There's a great show coming to Montreal on the 16th of September. It's the Esteriore Brothers at Place des Arts at 8 p.m. They've been here before. They're coming to a bigger venue now. 4 brothers who absolutely put on a show and sing some great Italian classics, keeping our Italian culture alive. And you can scan the QR code for tickets or check out viveavanti.com. There's also a fundraiser that I want to talk to you about as well. The Montreal Special Needs Family Organization, helping out families with children with special needs. Saturday, September 6th, it's around the corner in a couple of days from now. The golf is already sold out, but if you want to donate, and this cause actually has a special place in your heart, contact Maddie Pettigrosso at 438-860-6663. Thank you very much for that. I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to thank you all for listening. If you like the podcast tonight, leave us a 5-star review. It's our way of feeling the love. Special thanks to Betway. Special thanks to Fruiterie Dillard, as well as Bittt Tibi, as well as Playground, and as well as Energy Transportation Group, our sponsors. And special thanks to Shane Gaumont at Master Control. I want to remind you that the Sick Podcast goes weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I also want to remind you that in 6 days from now, on Wednesday, September 10th, we are going to have a special announcement. The Sick Podcast is going to make a special announcement. And I think there's going to be a series of special announcements over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. I'm Marinaro. Ciao for now.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. TB, embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.